What's up everyone, Lion Roar here, and finally, I'm gonna do my review and playtesting of the newest Bloodcraft champion, FURUKOTOFUMI. But first, download Bloodline Heroes of Lithis, a mobile RPG action fighting game where you can marry your champions to create new and unique hybrids. Use the link in the description to start with some free stuff, including golden diamonds. See you hopefully soon. Alright, so FURUKOTOFUMI is quite a mouthful, so in order not to get tongue twisted in this video, I'm just going to call him Fumi like everybody else. We're going to run through the skills, the traits I think would be good, and then I'm going to do some playtesting with him. So let's take a look at the skills first, and I always like to start with the passive because it's the first thing that affects the battlefield. I know this print on the screen is very, very small, but I'm going to read it out loud. Links to an allied champion, randomly prioritizing those in the back row. During the link, both the caster and the linked champion gain 25% strength. If the linked champion dies, the caster links to another ally. Starts with 3 masks, each breaking upon taking lethal damage, fearing the attacker for 2 seconds, and giving the caster a shield equal to 10% of the max constitution for 30 seconds. When getting a shield, the linked champion also gains a shield worth 70% of the caster's shield. So there's both pretty strong offense and defense involved in this passive. I like this passive a lot. I like anything that's going to increase the strength of the champions. That's where most of your damage is coming from, with strength-based attacks, of course, which most of the attacks are, not all, but most of the attacks in this game are strengths-based. And you've just got a lot going on with the passive here. The passives have been becoming more and more powerful as we go. I think it could really help, especially those backline heroes, which tend to be more fragile, to survive through people who are targeting that backline there. Plus, there's several other effects in the game that make backline heroes have a higher strength rating, which means dealing more damage, and so oftentimes they're glass cannons, which means they do a lot of damage if they survive. Now, the active skill says creates a spell in the densest area of enemies lasting 4 seconds. Enemies within the spell take damage equal to 250% of the caster's strength per second and are silenced. That can be a really powerful control thing in addition to dealing the damage. Allies inside the spell gain 12% crit rate simultaneously. The caster generates a shield equal to 60% of the damage dealt. So now not only we're getting that protective factor from the passive, but also the active here too. And I will tell you right now, having already played with Fumi a few times, that area on the battlefield where he's dealing damage is gigantic. In almost all of my tests so far, he just envelops almost the entire other team. It's almost like it could say hits everybody on the other team. The only ones you don't get doing that are ones who like to travel outside of the ring. There's a few heroes that do that. Now let's take a look at the ultimate. Summons 3 gigantic unstackable masks around the densest area of enemies, which release evil gas in front of them for 4 seconds, dealing damage that ignores defense and block. Each mask deals a total of 613.3% damage based on the caster's strength. Enemies hit by the gas cannot gain energy. That's a huge control effect. And they take 20% increased damage for 3 seconds. This is all so good right here. Not only dealing a ton of damage that ignores defense and block, but also not being able to gain energy, the opponent's not being able to gain energy, and taking on increased damage from the rest of your heroes. This is an incredible skill. This is what makes Fumi so powerful. Actually, everything, the passive, the active skill are really good, but I like the ultimate a whole lot. Everything here is good. And quite honestly, interestingly enough, these are like the fewest words we've seen on an ultimate skill in a long time, but it's just all really good stuff. So this is a powerful hero. I want to show you what I did with traits. This is just a starting point with me. And I feel like there's a few different ways to do this, and I could probably tweak and make it a little better. I'm going to explain why I chose each thing, but let's look at his traits. So he's got energy regen, gains 240 energy when taking active skill or ultimate attack damage. The cooldown's 8 seconds. Ritual of Wind. When an allied champion dies, the champion's strength is increased by 18% for 4 seconds. Stacks up to 2 layers. I don't really like depending on heroes dying for effects, so that one's okay. I went with aggressive in this case because I just feel like giving Fumi as much strength rating as possible means that he's going to be an even better damage dealer. I didn't actually go with any of the traits that just say they deal more damage. I just went with strength and pure heart because I want him to have as much strength as possible. When those skills go off, I want pure heart on him to cleanse any effects that could be keeping him from using his ultimate, but also using the ultimate earlier if you're in a bulko meta that's preventing him from using it within 10 seconds. So yeah, I think this is a great hero. And let's jump in and start testing him out and see what he looks like. First match up, I do want to be transparent on my 2 Bloodcraft heroes I have here, Lupercal and Fumi. The heroes that are linked to them are in the Divine Sanctuary, and so their levels are higher than the other heroes here. This is a relatively easy matchup for the first one, but similar power level in my neck of the woods here in the server I'm on. And we can see here that I'm gonna win pretty easily. I just want to see what the damage is like, and that looks good. I mean, that's right up there with Lupercal, that's right up there with Dire and Water and Sun, so this is a very even team synergy that I've put together in that particular matchup. So it's kind of hard for the other team to focus on like who to kill or who to control because everybody's doing a similar amount of damage. And that's one thing I was really looking for in the playtesting was, can Fumi do as much or more damage than the other heroes? Because he's a really great control and support hero too. So if he's dealing damage up there with the others, then he could end up being an S tier hero. Next up, another team that is built like a meta team. And I'm a little more powerful than as far as overall team power, but what we're looking for is the synergy. If I struggle against a team that's slightly lower power, then you know that he's not doing as well with the synergy of the team. But this looks like it's going pretty well, so I'm liking that. You know, I have to say, just looking at these stats, so once again, look at Dire, who is just out of this world, and she's not even in my Divine Sanctuary. I had her in there, but I switched her out so I could give the increased levels to my Bloodcraft champions. But in this one, Fumi didn't actually do all that much damage. However, I think, and I want to play it one more time, there's a lot of control effect going on here though. So even when he's not dealing a lot of damage, if he can just get in here and help to control the battlefield and support who he's linked to, that's what I'm looking for. And you can see right there, he helped to finish off the match when he eventually got to set that skill off. Okay, here we've almost got a mirror match. Again, I'm slightly more powerful as far as team power goes, but I would say, the third most powerful in the server, so it's hard to find people to go against that do have even or higher power. That matchup looks the same as the last one. So we've got Dire way ahead, Lupercal with a lot of damage there. And, you know, I would just say, I think in watching what Fumi does, sometimes he's going to deal a ton of damage, but he doesn't need to help your team win. And you can see we had a Fumi mirror there going on, and so they do kind of like neutralized each other a little bit. Now I'm going to take on the famous Fierce Daughter, who at this point is really hard for me to beat. I almost never beat Fierce Daughter anymore. She's just an amazing player who continually improves her team. But I'm curious how we can do here. Like, can I even match up? It is very much a mirror match too. She's just so good with her overall team power level, but also the traits that she uses and the synergies she goes for. I'm hanging in there. Like I was thinking from the beginning, it would be really, really hard for me to win this. I might want to rearrange some of the heroes and see if I can do it again. But let's take a look at the damage done. So Even though Dyer died relatively early, that's still a ton of damage. And, you know, I think trying to get Fumi to link to her may be what I need to do. Or maybe actually even male Water and Sun. Let's go back and see if we can fight her again. Because it's really hard to control who he's going to link to exactly. But I'm curious if I maybe put him in the back. Will he like definitely link to one or the other? Let's try Water and Sun first. See if he links to Water and Sun and if that can help me out. And I think it's probably fine where he's at. I might just try a few different placements with Fierce Daughter to see if I can do any better. And I'm already liking the look of this a little bit better. That might have done it. You kind of get Fumi to link to the hero you want him to if you put him in the back row, is something that I'm thinking. I just noticed that as something that I could probably do. And so that was good. Look, Dyer still did an incredible amount of damage. He did a better job supporting male Water and Sun, who's really like fragile in this day and age and takes forever to get his special off. The meta is just so fast now. And if male Water and Sun doesn't get his ultimate skill off, then he's almost doing nothing. And so you really need him to survive to that ultimate. And I think Fumi does that. At least Fumi did in this particular circumstance. So this is really promising. Oh, holy smokes. Now I'm going to take on Kanan, who is at 934 million overall team power. Like, that's like double what I am. There's no way I should win this one. I'm going to go with the same setup I had last time, but I just want to see how competitive I might be here. All right, so we got the link I want. And, you know, I'm hanging tough. So Fumi's gone off now. Now all my ultimate skills are stacking, and my Fumi's doing a great job here. He's doing a great job here. Oh, this is awesome. Let's just see. Come on, let's get the last little bit. If I beat Kanan, that would be unbelievable. Oh no, he's coming back, and now my heroes are dropping one by one. No, come on. This is so close, though. This is definitely better than I expected. Holy smokes. Oh no, I'm gonna lose right at the end. But guys, holy smokes. Fumi is good. It's been a while since I've been competitive with Kanan like that. He's just got such an incredibly powerful team. And you know what? In a long match like that, Fumi made the male Water and Sun do what male Water and Sun's supposed to do again. Look at all that damage. Look at all that healing. That's exactly what I want to see in something like this. So, you know, when he's not dealing damage, he's supporting the team, and when he's dealing damage, he's supporting the team. Now for a little Valley of Conquerors, and we have 16 enemies here. Let's see how deep into them we can go. The first one's going to be tough here. If we can break through the first team here, I think we can go pretty far down the list. So Fumi just went off. Let's hope that between Fumi and male Water and Sun, I can eke this one out. Oh, yes, I did. Oh my gosh, I was a little nervous though. Did you see my HP bars? They were just flying up and down. I do need to get a little bit of healing on Dyer. I'm afraid I might lose her if I can't get her healed back up here. Oh my goodness. Now we're cutting through them like a hot knife through butter. Oh my gosh. Sometimes, once Fumi goes off, the match is just over. Alright. Look at him. He just melts the opposing team. The last thing the opposing team sees before they die are those 3 masks. I think, you know, this is definitely the meta team. There can be a couple different variations of it, but just all the damage between Lupercal, Dyer, and Fumi. while you get Askavarj out there just being a total disruptor and keeping the team from being able to do what they want to do, and hopefully getting the healing out of Male Water and Sun. Just an incredible meta team. Uh-oh, we lost Dire. I think she's the most fragile of all the champions I have here, and that is what worries me. She's such a powerful damage dealer, but sometimes she doesn't survive big hits. And it's just vitally important that you have Male Water and Sun going off to try and keep her healed up. I'm gonna keep going because Fumi's still going. Even though I don't have Dire, it's like fighting with one hand tied behind my back, but you know, we're still cutting through all the opponents at this gate. By the way, how do you like my Askavarj hybrid? You see that? Askavarj has the white hair and wings. It's a hybrid with Arbiter. I put the actual trait that I wanted on Arbiter, and then I put it on Askavarj to get that really cool hybrid. And yeah, so I mean, from all the arena matches that we've done and now Valley of Conquerors, what's apparent to me is that Fumi isn't necessarily going to be the biggest damage dealer on the team, but he also doesn't need to be. What he's doing is supporting your team and keeping them alive while he is really controlling what the other team is doing. And when that support's not quite enough, if the match goes on a bit, then he just unloads, like with that ultimate skill, just unloads damage on them. A really great all-around hero. Now let's take a look and see how he does against a raid boss. I gotta admit, I don't know how this is gonna go because he's not really a champion that's made for PvE. This is definitely much more of a PvP hero, but I'm curious. Now I do have him on my best PvE team with the best heroes on my roster to take out raid bosses, so we're gonna see hopefully a one-shot. If I can't one-shot the raid boss with this team, then that means he's definitely deficient in a PvE situation like this. But if we can take out the whole boss, I am curious how much damage he is doing relative to the other heroes. And unlike PvP situations where you need to have good synergy and control effects and things like that, in PvE, you really just need to deal damage and don't die, and that's it. So it's pretty simple. How much damage does he deal? It does look like we're gonna one-shot way ahead of schedule here, so we're gonna see how much damage he did. And look at that. Hey, that's pretty good. He is not at the same level as the PvE champions that I have here, but it's not bad. That's pretty good. I don't think I'm gonna use him in my raid boss team, but you know, he's usable for this too, for sure. All right, I'm just gonna say it. Fumi is an S tier hero. So the next time I come out with a tier list video, unless something happens to him or some new hero drops that totally upends the meta again, this is probably one you want to go after. So if you haven't yet got a Bloodcraft champion, this is a really good first one to go after. Again, you need Kojuki and Shoten heroes in order to be able to combine them into this, but definitely deserving of being on the top teams, and is absolutely shaping the meta. In fact, I think if I'm gonna rate him around where the most impactful heroes in the game are right now, he's definitely a Male Water and Sun type of hero. In fact, now he's better than Male Water and Sun, but he's having that kind of impact on the game. And right there with Dire as well, and probably better than Nereid, just my opinion after doing a bunch of playtesting. So there's a lot to this hero. All right, well, that's enough. Good luck to you if you get him. Also, let me know what traits you're using on him or what synergies you think work best. I always like to learn from you as well. And if you enjoy videos like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification, and I will catch you in the next one.